Hello, I'm Pat Cunningham, and I'd like to thank Toshiba Foundation for the opportunity to submit our proposal for the equipment needed to put AP Chemistry into St. John Paul II Catholic High School in Schertz or New Braunfels, Texas. Shortly after I retired from public education after 11 years at Johnson High School in San Antonio, I was contacted by the principal of John Paul, Mr. Iliff, who's a longtime friend and protege from my time in administration at another high school. And he told me that he had a couple of students, two brothers, twins in fact, who had an interest in preparing better for college by studying AP Chemistry and taking the exam. I got acquainted with these young men and went ahead and said, go ahead, let's try it, let's see what happens. And the success we've had so far is really kind of impressive. They are very bright, unusually well prepared, and very committed to careers in science or engineering. And therefore, they were easy to manage a long distance. Very committed young men. However, we, in talking about this, discussed the problem because long distance, they had medical issues in their family that prevented them from being at school. And I was teaching from my own home office, which is in the background. The problem there, of course, was distance learning works for highly educated and highly motivated students, but does it work for the ordinary student who simply wants to take a second year of chemistry and do well enough in it so that they can be confident about taking the AP Chemistry exam, one of the more difficult exams in the AP lexicon. So distance learning, 100%, no. And the problem there is exacerbated by the fact that the students weren't doing their hands-on laboratory work, which is really essential for a thorough understanding of chemistry and even taking the exam. So in managing that problem for a second year, because students, perhaps as many as 10 or 15 students, are interested in taking the course next year and getting ready for college that way, we decided that we needed me to be out there one day a week in the laboratory, but that I would be able, as I did successfully before, to lecture long distance. Of course, there are recordings of each lecture in case the children are not available. And therefore, they could have my expertise, my many years of teaching experience and teaching AP Chemistry experience, they could have that, and then I would be there once a week with their critical labs so that I could walk them through it in person. Moreover, we would have a qualified science teacher in the classroom whenever I was lecturing long distance and solving problems and helping them with their work. That qualified science teacher would also be learning how to teach AP Chemistry, both the lecture part and the laboratory sequence. So in our minds, this would move away from the 100% online that we were doing now into a more hands-on and positive experience for the young students. So what do we need for that? Well, we need a teacher in the classroom each time. I would be there once a week. The other teacher would be there on the, since we're on a block scheduling, he would be there either once or twice during that period. And we needed equipment. The lab is set up for a lower grade science, physical science environment and curriculum where they don't even have a digital force meter in the physics. So we bought a few things this year, vernier equipment, and we got the proper software in so that that works. But we need more equipment for the lab and for more than one group to be working in the lab. So we're asking for the equipment needed for instance, pH titrations and even gas chromatography, which is extremely important because the topic of intermolecular attractions is one of the big topics for the AP Chemistry exam, and the gas chromatograph and boiling point demonstrations that we actually published in the Journal of Chemistry, Chemical Education a few years back with my research class at Johnson, that is extraordinarily helpful to the students in understanding intermolecular attractions. So that's what we're asking for, and we appreciate your consideration. Thank you very much for your acceptance of our proposal from St. John Paul II Catholic High School.